Hi, Aries. Andrea Cox here, the Detox Intuitive. Kind of a late day for me. I try not to work on the weekends, especially it being Easter, which is one of my favorite holidays. And my mom used to put out Easter baskets and things like that for us. And so it's a nice holiday. And I took all my client calls today and tried to squeeze more in than usual. So I've literally been in my home on the phone almost all day. And I wanted to get your reading in for a very specific reason. And that reason being that you guys have supported me since I started this channel. Those of you who are new to the channel, I just want to thank you all for subscribing to the channel, and do hit the bell notification button after you subscribe. That scratching you hear is my little husband, Lewis, in the background. Yeah, have to, there he goes again. He's done. Okay, he's done. Aries, there's a song that came to me when I was meditating over your cards, and that particular song, I might have to get up and disrupt Lewis's little digging in the chair, was something I feel that you really want another person to know. And you also want another person to know why you actually put on a mask that they had been wearing for so long. I'm going to do a quick intro, with links, etc., and then I'm going to play a little part of this song. Do listen to the song, because every time I play music, I give up making any money on this video whatsoever. So I think this song is important for you to hear, Aries. And thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Super Chats is on during live videos. That helps support the channel. I'm Andrea Cox. I'm a detox specialist by trade. I have a second YouTube channel here on YouTube called Andrea Cox TV. Go check it out. There's over 600 recipe videos, detox videos, videos on fasting. The channel has close to 4 million views and about 18,000 subscribers. I think you'll find a lot of valuable information there. I got into the tarot about a year and a half ago as I went through my own transformation. I think it was the second awakening I've had. And I feel like I'm on the cusp of a third, because my heart got a little closed off over the past year. I am a triple water sign. So I am a Pisces sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, Pisces Venus, Scorpio North Node, and Scorpio Saturn placement. So I have a lot of Pisces and Scorpio in my chart. But I'm also on the cusp of Aries. So March 19th, I'm an Aries cusper. So I really relate to Aries a lot. I really relate to the Emperor and the Empress, the creativity of an Aries, the fiery nature of getting shit done of an Aries, the being able to see a vision and actually making it come into fruition like an Aries does. Little kombucha, it's pretty good. There's a lot of wisdom that comes in Aries. There's a lot of knowledge and a lot of inner knowing. Aries are pretty intuitive. People don't give Aries credit. People say that Aries are, they're controlling, they're dominating. Well, yeah, they are. They are, because they like stuff to be done in the proper way. They like things to be, much like a Virgo with organization and having like things, tidied up, etc. And Aries likes to stay in control, because they know when they're not in control, shit hits the fan, everything falls apart, right? People don't stay in alignment. What's alignment to you? Maybe different to someone else. For some of you, you may have been involved with someone that when you first met them, even holding hands in the car was like off putting to them, right? Opening your car door, right, was unheard of. Speaking to you gently, or knowing that intimacy wasn't just about sex, but it was about two people coming together to form a heart connection. And that wasn't in their mindset. I'm getting the feeling of one person being very empathic, very loving, very caring, could be some type of healer, some type of um, someone that can feel what other people are going through and relate in a compassionate way, and then one person being cold as ice. And I feel that somewhere along the way, Aries, the two of you have switched places. Maybe you were the one that was cold as ice, the cross watchers, or maybe the cross watcher was cold as ice. Whichever one was cold as ice, I feel like the places have switched, but I feel like they switched for a reason. I feel like one person took their centeredness and their strength, and I do feel like this is you, Aries. You have the strength card. And I feel like they adopted the mask of this bitter, angry, quick moving, might have been dealing with an air sign, um, always has to be doing something, always has to be running errands, always has to, be talking about the latest gossip or the latest politics or whatever, and you switched. And I feel like this person is bewildered. Like, why is this person acting this way? I know that's not the way they are. I know I was intimate with them for years. I spent time with them. I know they are not this cold hearted. And you're right. This could have been a little bit of a mystery to you. Might have been dealing with a water sign. We see the moon there, uh, Cancer or Pisces. Happy full moon in Libra, by the way. This moon is very special to me, Aries. It's the pink moon, and it's the moon that I decided to start this business in about a year ago, that I really decided to put effort into. And I started this business, Aries. I might get a little emotional in this video because I wanted to get myself out of a position of feeling that someone had control over me in a different way. That if I wanted to be happy and content, that I needed to be submissive to someone else because they had more money than me. Submissive in what way? Um, Submissive in a way where I had to put up with lies and not being direct, not being able to sit down and have a normal conversation without being shouted over, not being able to be spoken to in a kind manner, having drama created where none needed to exist if there was proper communication. So I decided one day that I wanted to be happier and that I wanted this person to be happier, but I also wanted, maybe in an indirect way, I wanted someone to see themselves. I wanted someone to be able to see the way they were acting which was cruel. So, so this is the song that came to me, and I just think it's an awesome song. And it came to me, I was speaking to a client of mine in New York. She's a beautiful woman. She's a dancer and also runs a business. I mean, really accomplished woman. And she first hired me for readings, and now she bought my coaching program, and so I'm helping her with her food and her adrenal glands. And she's very empathic. She's got a lot of Pisces in her chart, like I do. And she's very sensitive and she's very kind and very loving. And listening to her today almost brought tears to my eyes, but it also brought tears of happiness because I have seen her take on a sense of strength since I first started working with her that's not really of her own, but that she has to cultivate in order to be able to swim in the shark tank she's been put in with sharks, with people that want to take her down, with people that want to take advantage of her because she's sensitive, because she's empathic, because she's kind, right? And so before I play this song, there's a real sense of and a real need to be conscious of not coming if you are this empathic, loving, kind person and people are saying, you're acting differently, what's going on with you? Not becoming what you came here to destroy. Not becoming a person of greed, anger, hatred, demise, bitchiness, dickiness, whatever. Not becoming what you came here to destroy. Now, what does that mean? Well, every empath, I think, is sent here to help other people open their hearts, right? And so somewhere along the way, Aries, some of you woke up and you realized one day, okay, someone's treating me really bad, right? Someone's treating me like shit. Someone's acting like they don't care. And they've acted like they've cared every single day up until this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat them how they have treated me. I'm going to become cold. I'm going to become calculating. I'm going to become distant. I'm going to become a liar, a cheat, whatever. And I think it's time to take off the mask, Aries. I think it's time to settle back into your own. Because you're realizing that, your body doesn't feel as good. You don't feel as good with this act, with this portraying a person that has their sword up, right? When really this made you feel like this and it really hurt you. And sometimes when someone does something that they're not proud of, instead of just having a conversation about it, they'll kind of sit back and watch to see how much you know, Does she know? Does he know? Well, maybe they don't know. Well, I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to observe and see when I can, step in because I think that they don't know exactly what went on. I think there was a lot of that going on. And so I think a lot of the angry mask you put on, Aries, was to protect yourself because you really you reached a point where you didn't want this person coming back. Somewhere along the way, someone stepped in and did show you, Aries, what true love was like. They did comfort you. And I think probably that person saw the mask you had on and probably saw right through it. But, you kept the mask on a little too long, right? So I'm going to play this song for you and I'm going to get into your reading. I am doing extended readings. The link will be in the description box below. You can buy them all as a package because I'm not going to sell them individually. I just don't feel like it. It's too much of a headache for me. And I'm kind of a one woman show. Um, I have a web guy and an assistant, and that's it. And then it's me. So it's just too much for me to deal with. Okay, I'm going to play this song. And thank you for subscribing to the channel.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. When the morning comes, and we see what we've become. In the cold light of day, we're a flame in the wind of the fire we've begun. Every argument, every word we can't take back. Cause with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends. There's only for a minute. I want to change my mind. This just don't feel right today. I want to raise your spirits. I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. And I'm left there with my thoughts and the image of you being with someone else, well, it's eating me up inside. And we ran our course, we pretended we're okay. Now if we jump together, at least we can sweep up away from the wreck we made. Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind. This just don't feel right to me. I want to raise your spirits. I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. So I'll go. I will go. So I'll go. I will go. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier.
So I can't even watch that because a dog, I think, passes in the video, and I'm such an animal lover that that's hard for me to watch. It's part of being empathic, is loving animals, is loving people, and is seeing no one above anyone else, right? Right? So, for example, if you were born into a lot of money and someone else wasn't, it's not looking down on that person. It's not placing judgment on another human being, for the family they grew up in, or the skin color they grew up with, or the last name they grew up with. And so, for a lot of you, Aries, you or someone else, you were dealing with someone whose family maybe wasn't fond of you, right? You were dealing with someone possibly that had money, that came from money, that money was the end all be all. Money was everything. Money was it. And you just wanted to spend time with this person and not have any drama. But the whole entire relationship situation, Aries, was full of fucking drama. It was full of it. And you were pointed at as the drama. But the truth was, you were the first one that probably walked into that family and pointed out where all the fucking drama was. And we're like, really? This really exists? This is allowed to happen? That's a lot. And so by the end of the relationship, it had become really codependent, right? Because this person's place was to come into your life, right? And to take your passion, what you loved, not appreciate it, not see you for your gifts, not encourage you to continue and to move forward with your gifts. But your gifts were smothered, right? And so when your gifts are smothered, you become less abundant, your self-esteem goes down. If you had someone possibly that was, you know, abusive in any way, your self-esteem went down even further. You probably didn't get much sleep, right? And so by the end of the relationship, the dynamic had switched a bit. And instead of one person being really empathic and another person being very cold, calculating, thinking everyone is out to get them, paranoid, because that's what they grew up with. That's what every girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife had done to them. And you just wanted to fucking love them. And so you put all your trust and all your loyalty and all your love into this one person. And it was a shit show. It was a fucking shit show. By the end, it was a shit show. It looked really beautiful, right? Probably made a beautiful couple, right? You probably, I mean, probably had great sex, right? After all that fighting, all that makeup sex, right? That was good. In and out behavior, right? Someone who couldn't make up their mind about what they wanted, who they wanted to be with, probably thought about the ex that cheated on them 10,000 times. You probably had to deal with baby mama drama, ex drama, this drama. So you decided, Aries, you fucking decided, I am going to show this person exactly what they put me through so they don't put someone else through this. Even if I have to put someone else through this for a little while just to show them what they're dealing with. You became cold, distant, and calculating in order to get another person to transform. You put your whole personality, your empathic nature, your reputation on the front line and said, light the bitch on fire, let it burn up. And if this person can become a really, truly good person, I'll feel vindicated. I'll feel good about myself. I'll feel like if I died tomorrow, my job here on earth has been done. I'm not saying you were an angel. Not at all. Actually, the cards don't indicate either one of you were angels. But there was some real damage done here, some damage that was not cleaned up, shit that was pushed under the rug and not spoke about. And it caused a lot of small problems that weren't even problems. You may not even know what this is about, or you may know what this is about and know that the finger was pointed in the wrong direction. And I just want to assure you, Aries, that person knows that it was pointed in the wrong direction too, and they know who had the finger or fingers that pointed towards you. One of the things that turned this person on about you was your aspirations, your power, because aspirations stimulate power, Aries. So the power that you had within you to achieve, to make things happen, to introduce yourself to strangers in crowds, to speak, to write, to create, to perform. This person suffered from a low self-esteem from their upbringing. They could have been raised by narcissists. They could have been pushed down when they tried to excel. For some of you, this person is could have been like the goody goody, like the good boy or good girl in the family, and could do no wrong. For others of you, this could have been like the black sheep of the family. A lot of time passed. You see these fish swimming in the trees? Two fish. So what is it about time that gives time so much power? Right? In the spiritual realm, time has no relevance. But in the 3D, time is everything, right? Letting things fall to the wayside, letting time pass and thinking time will heal all wounds. There's a difference when you just kind of think, you know what, time will heal all wounds. I'm going to set this chapter aside or I'm going to close it for the greater good of all. Or when you don't address wounds before you close that chapter, or even worse, when you leave doors open and try to sneak your way back in. Someone got really strong in this dynamic over a very long period of time. Someone develops skills that are empowering them, skills that are making them into a better person, but that person's in the dark. They're not being that person in the light because they had to mirror someone else's behavior. But I think you got your point across. I think the skills you helped someone else develop, Aries, or that they helped you develop, I think it was both of you, are going to serve a purpose. Uh, Someone feeling completely off balance, right? And blaming another person for their off balanceness. That's not even a word. But then finally coming to the conclusion that the balance has to be created within, and that the facade of a life that they had created was all bullshit. That completely surrounding themselves with material things, wanting the big house, the cars, the blah, 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 and then realizing one day none of that shit matters. None of it matters. That brings balance. Body movement will be very helpful. Spending time in nature, definitely going vegan. I've been vegan almost 20 years. You can do it. Truth. A truth that never came out. Strong reference to the number 11. Are you living in your sacred truth, Aries? Were you living in your sacred truth when you were with this person, or did you have to wear a false mask? I think for some of you, this person hid who they really were from you and felt that they needed to be better than they actually were, or I don't want to say better, different. They didn't think they could be the life of the party or the happy-go-lucky, because fuck, they're standing next to an Aries. Have you ever walked in a room with an Aries? I'm an Aries cusper. I completely relate to Aries. Aries get a lot of attention. So this person had self-esteem issues and they put all that shit on you. And in the process, they tore your self-esteem down. And so, you being the creative Aries you are, right? You found a very creative way of storytelling, getting things out in the open that weren't being discussed, putting the truth out there when it needed to be put out there. Even though people were trying to take you down with a bunch of bullshit lies. There's a strong reference to a house. Someone built a house or is building a house or something of that nature. If you're involved with this person, Aries, know at the 11th hour, or if you're a cross watcher or someone else involved with, and this sounds like your story, you were intuitively guided to be here, you might want to get a private reading. Know that this home being built is a home that the occupants that are being chosen to live in the home will be chosen in the 11th hour, or were chosen in the 11th hour. Someone could make up their mind. And Aries, I think you shot someone away. I think someone tried to come back to you a few times, or maybe you tried to go back to them. But see, the two of you had switched places. Creativity, emperor, empress. You're an empress. If you're relating to this and this sounds like what you're going through, your woman is an empress, or your past woman is an empress. And they wanted you to be an emperor, or vice versa. You're an emperor and you wanted this person to be your empress. But this person wouldn't step up. They saw your creativity as a threat. Well, what were you supposed to do? Were you supposed to stay in bed for months on end in the dark when you knew intuitively and had been told what was really going on? What were you supposed to do? Get creative, break the silence. You, Aries, so strong. What is this animal? It's like the father deer with the antlers, whatever that is. This is a dandelion. So my sisters and I, we used to make a wish and then we would blow on a dandelion and we would close our eyes and we would blow on it and we would open our eyes, and if there were no more feathers on the dandelion, we would say the wish was going to come true. And if there were pieces, we would say, well, it's not going to come true, but we'd shake it and say it was going to come true anyway. I think for a long time you shook the dandelion and you shook the dandelion and you tried to like shake the dandelion to get the dandelion to wake the fuck up, and the dandelion wouldn't wake up. Aries males, you probably tried to go back to this person 10 times, 20. Aries females, Pisces, Aries cuspers, I think in the beginning, you really wanted this person back. And then you came to a point where you knew you had to make a decision to live or to die. Hey, hey, excuse me one moment. No, don't do that. Thank you. For some of you, before this silence even took place, before all this drama happened, before this person decided they were going to put money over love, because that's what happened. For some. There was a series of events that happened that took a really beautiful relationship into quite a few of you thinking this was a real karmic situation. Something came up missing. Could have been jewelry, right? Could have been a person, could have been an animal. Excuse me one moment. Roger. Hey, you have to stop doing that. Look at me. You can't do that. And when this thing came up missing, Aries, I feel like you stepped into your masculine energy. Male or female. This woman has a crystal strapped on her back. You could be 43. It's card number 43. Could have a life path number of 4 or 3. And you really stepped up and you tried to help. After these series of events started, you may have found something to replace some of the love that seemed to have like stopped cold, right? Maybe you got a dog or you got a cat or you maybe some of you stepped outside, the situation or something happened. Thank you for hitting the like button if this resonates. And do watch this from the beginning to hear the song and to hear everything we went into. Just going to pull a few cards and I'll be doing the extended on the other side because there's a lot of heavy things that I honestly don't feel comfortable speaking about here. The Emperor. You. In your power. Finally taking the mask off and handing it back to the person that gave it to you. They might kind of be in their feelings right now, thinking they ruined you, thinking they turned you into a horrible man or a complete opposite female than what you were, right? You probably went from an empathic, loving person to a King of Swords. Maybe you were dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. For some of you, this person was waiting around for you to forgive them or for you to forget what had happened. But with the silence card here, it's almost a sense of wanting to roll back in and things just be peachy, right? Wanting to roll back in and like nothing had happened, like where's the time card? Like no time had passed. Wanting to roll back in that 10 of Cups, because after all, this person had the time to heal, right? They knew what was going on. I mean, you were the one that was kept in the dark, right? So why were you acting like this? Someone's looking in on you. Has she healed yet? Has he gotten over this yet? Are they going to like let me roll in now? Someone's sorry that they focused so much on money and didn't focus on what you were giving them. Temperance, card of Sagittarius. Some of you could have been involved with the Sag, or there could be a Sagittarius around the situation. Could have been a child, could have been an ex, something like that. The Moon, Pisces, Cancer. Moon is sensitive, kind, loving. But when the moon has to emotionally walk away from something that was seemingly really fucking challenging, conflict 100 times a day, walking in to a house or your partner walking in, the person you love more than anything, and having to adjust your demeanor until you realize what type of mood they were in. Were you going to be called any names that night? Were they going to throw the dinner on the floor and break the dishes? This type of conflict can sometimes come back, you know, with a mask on as a 10 of cups. Someone didn't know how to handle their emotions. They didn't know how to cope. They didn't know how to stay balanced and grounded. They would have a bad day at work and they would bring it home and dump all their shit on you. And then they would wonder why you had to stay in bed until noon the next day and couldn't get up and couldn't create, because you were healing from such anger and horrific wording the night before. They don't quite understand why wording would hurt someone, because, you know, if you were dealing with like an air sign, or this could even be you, Aries. I mean, we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer, Sagittarius, Virgo, Capricorn here. You know, if you were dealing with an empathic person, moon, watery energy, it's hard to get over that, you know? So someone got creative. They stepped into their masculine energy, probably a female you were dealing with. They used their skill set to not only tell the truth, but to really help someone else balance out their shit. And you won't get this if this message is for you, which it's probably not, because the energy I'm speaking of over here, they wouldn't watch a tarot reading. They wouldn't have the energy to sit through an entire reading. They got to get up and do stuff, you know? Plus, they're jealous of your aspirations, your ability to put yourself out there. Jealousy and competition in a relationship really don't mix well. You were made to feel that you were so bad at a relationship when really you're so good at a relationship that it's a threat to someone who has only witnessed shitty relationships in their life. Someone that has no example of positivity. You have the Two of Cups coming out on the Devil card. Could be a Capricorn. Some of you are moving forward with a Capricorn, or some of you are holding on to the thought of a secret relationship. High Priestess secret, Four of Pentacles holding on, Two of Cups, Capricorn. The Capricorn thinks you are a heavy ass burden, and why wouldn't they? Queen of Swords reversed, the Tower, and the Ace of Pentacles. We're going to find out in the extended reading. You have the Four of Wands with the Capricorn. He also shows up as a Knight of Cups. So if you're dealing with someone with heavy water, air, or earth placements, strong emphasis on Capricorn, they could be worried about you, but I think they think you're just a total fucking disaster, to be truthful, Aries. And why wouldn't they? It's hard to become what ruined you in order for someone else to see themselves and grow. And then it's hard to switch back to that place of being empathic, compassionate, and loving after you've witnessed such self destruction and destruction of another. Someone self sabotages situations and they almost sabotaged you. But I think you're going to remove the mask and step back into your loving self. Aries. We're going to find out what the Tower is all about in the extended reading. I'm going to put the links in the description box below. For private readings, I have a really quick turnaround of 48 hours. So that's really good. A lot of times I can get you in sooner, but I don't take readings on weekends. I'm doing one this weekend special, but the Twin Flame reading is the most popular. Akashic record reading and health readings are also popular. Go to thedetoxintuitive.com, click on spiritual gifts and offerings, choose your reading, and I'll be in touch with you.